All right, we have a lot to talk about today, as always. We're going to start off with a story that roughly 83,000 VA workers they're slated to be fired. And then we're also going to be talking about the DOJ has launched an investigation on a university in California for anti-Semitic reports. And we're also going to do a video that Congress just got together and they are going to be voting to censure Al Green. If you haven't seen, I did a video on this yesterday, but Al Green protested Trump's joint session of Congress and he ended up getting escorted out. But anyways, let's stick with this topic. 83,000 VA employees slated to be fired this year by Musk, DOGE memo says. So that's insane. I'm just going to say that up front. We're going to also talk to our favorite mega consultant, ChatGPT, as soon as we finish this article. And I use ChatGPT, if you don't know, as a way to disprove right-wing claims. And I use ChatGPT not because I believe it's super accurate. If it has any bias or any influence leaning one way or the other, it's going to be right-wing because it is owned by a right-wing billionaire, Sam Altman. All right, without further ado, the Department of Veterans Affairs plans to fire more than 80,000 employees under a sweeping reorganization effort being planned to comply with President Donald Trump's orders to slash the federal government, according to an internal VA memo obtained by military.com. In the memo, VA Chief of Staff Christopher Surik said the department's initial objective is to return to 2019 staffing levels of 399,957 employees. And you couldn't just at least round that off at 400,000. Come on, man, it's only 43 more. Anyways, or about 83,000 fewer employees than the VA has right now. If implemented, the layoffs would bring the department down to the level of employees it had before the PACT Act, the wide-ranging 2022 law that expanded VA healthcare and benefits for millions of veterans exposed to toxic substances during their military service. After the law was passed, the VA under the Biden administration embarked on a massive hiring spree in order to ensure the department could handle the influx of new patients and benefit claims. I don't ever want to hear, ever again, that Democrats are worse for veterans than Republicans. Okay? And as I said, we're going to ask ChatGPT, what has Trump done for veterans so far this term? Whether that be positive or negative. Anyways, I don't want to hear it anymore, okay? You're lying to yourself if you think Republicans are better for veterans. VA, in partnership with our DOGE leads, will move out aggressively while taking a pragmatic and disciplined approach to identify and eliminate waste, because they've definitely been doing that so far, firing the people who oversee our nuclear weapons. Get out of here. You're not being careful. You're not going through this carefully. Management bureaucracy, reduce footprint, and increase workforce efficiency. Surik wrote in a memo referring to the Elon Musk-led White House office that has, in Musk's words, been taking a chainsaw to the federal government. And when they say they're going to be trying to make things more efficient, let me translate that for you. That means they're going to take an axe to the program, and whatever's left, hey, figure it out. It never leads to these programs getting better. Let's be clear. If you can find a specific example where a program was cut and then it performed better, let me know. So the VA did not immediately respond to military.com's request for comment on the memo, which was first reported by news outlet Government Executive, but VA Secretary Doug Collins posted a video to social media late Wednesday afternoon addressing the planned firings. Under the plan outlined in Surik's memo, the VA will complete an internal review May 9th and publish its reorganization plan in June. Layoffs would begin in August, according to the memo. If implemented, the layoffs would reverse the extensive hiring the Biden administration undertook to implement the PACT Act. Jesus Christ. Reading this is making me go full-on stupid. In 2023 alone, the VA's Veteran Health Administration hired nearly 62,000 new employees. These included about 12,000 nurses, as well as hundreds of new psychiatrists, a category of doctors that government watchdogs have said the VA had a severe shortage of, military.com previously reported. So yeah, don't act like these are inefficient workers or non-critical positions or whatever. These are the positions that are the most critical, and are already understaffed. Like, this is a giant middle finger to the veterans, and it's not the only middle finger they give. I'm going to go towards the end of this video, we're going to talk about the other thing he did to give a giant middle finger to veterans. Since its first day in office, the Trump administration, under the auspices of DOGE, has hacked away at the size of the federal government, including with a hiring freeze and mass firings. DOGE has also moved to cancel a wide array of contracts that the administration has described as wasteful, but in some cases have turned out to be worth far less than advertised, have already expired, or have been for core services. At the VA, that has included firing 2,400 so-called probationary workers who had been hired, promoted, or transferred within the last couple of years. The department also announced earlier this week that it was canceling more than 500 contracts, pared down from more than 800 contracts it originally was going to cancel after outcry that some of the contracts were crucial for veterans' care and benefits. The department has not released a full list of the 585 contracts it is canceling. In each announcement, the department has vowed that the cuts would not hurt veteran services. For example, in implementing the hiring freeze, the VA said it was exempting hundreds of thousands of healthcare jobs. So that was a lie. We're going to accomplish this without making cuts to healthcare or benefits to veterans and VA beneficiaries, Collins said in a social media video Wednesday about the upcoming 83,000 firings. VA will also fulfill its duty to provide veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors the health benefits they earned. That's a promise. Yeah, that's a lie. It's the same BS with Medicare and Medicaid. Yeah, no one's going to lose coverage. It's not going to get worse or anything. It's just 880 billion, bro. What's the big deal? Oh my. For example, while the VA has insisted that the fired probationary workers did not include Veterans Crisis Line responders, Senate Democrats have pointed at least 2 fired employees who did critical support work for suicide helpline, even if they were not the ones answering the phones. The cuts have also halted research on areas such as cancer and suicide prevention. And now, the planned reduction in force would go much further than the probationary firings. The memo from Zurich said on Tuesday does not specify any exemptions to the potential tens of thousands of layoffs. This effort will require the entirety of VA staff and organizations to work together in collaborative fashion, as well as to coordinate actions with DOGE and the administration as a whole to achieve the desired results within the allotted time frame. Zurich wrote, the department envisions that a portion of any savings from the firings would be reinvested into the veterans we serve. That is such a load of crap. They're making these cuts because they're trying to pretend to be deficit hawks, and they just want to slash the government. Okay, this isn't about reinvesting back into that program. It's about reinvesting into the top 1% with their tax bill. This is not just a budget decision. It's a life or death issue for veterans suffering from toxic exposure related illnesses. Rosie Torres, co-founder of Burn Pits 360 and a leading proponent of the PACT Act, said in a statement last month, the government made a promise. We honored our oath. Now honor yours. As word of Zurich's memo leaked, Democrats accused the Trump administration of undermining the PACT Act. Congress would work in bipartisan manner to pass the PACT Act and equip VA with the tools and resources needed to serve more veterans than ever. Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democratic from Connecticut, the ranking member of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, said in a statement Tuesday night the memo makes their goal crystal clear. They want to roll back the PACT Act by cutting 80,000 jobs, including 20,000 veterans. Well, not only are they, cutting services to veterans, essentially, they're also firing veterans while starving VA's ability to meet increased demand and other justify privatizing the VA. Oh, God. The estimate of 20,000 veterans being laid off appears based on the fact that 1/4 of VA employees are veterans. Meanwhile, House Veterans Affairs Committee Chairman Mike Bost, Republican from Illinois, said he is working to get clarity from Collins on the memo. I have questions about the impact these reductions and discussions could have on delivery of services, especially following the implementation of the PACT Act. Both said in a statement Wednesday, and from my position as chairman, I will continue to ask questions and keep a close eye on how or if this plan evolves. So yeah, it's insanity. Someone defend this. Go ahead. Comment sections. Defend it. So I asked, is the VA considered overstaffed or understaffed? The Department of Veterans Affairs has been experiencing significant staffing challenges, particularly in critical healthcare positions. As of August 2024, the VA's Office Inspector General, pretty sure they're fired now, reported that 86% of the facilities face severe shortages of medical officers and 82% reported severe shortages of nurses, as they are planning on cutting tens of thousands of nurses. Wow. These shortages have persisted for over a decade, affecting the quality and timeliness of care provided to veterans. In response to these challenges, the Trump administration announced plans to reduce the VA workforce by approximately 80,000 positions. I love when I don't even ask for it and ChatGPT just throws shade at Donald Trump. That's when you know you messed up. Aiming to return staffing levels to those of 2019, the decision sparked significant backlash from veterans groups and Democratic lawmakers. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's understaffed and they're cutting it more. And it's not like they're cutting, non-critical positions. They're cutting the positions that are already understaffed. I don't know how anyone can defend this or support this. And I always encourage you to not only view this one bad thing and be like, oh yeah, that's just one bad thing, everything else is good. No, this is a pattern. Look at the pattern of his executive orders, okay? They are not in no way helping you. So, I asked ChatGPT, what actions has Trump taken so far in his second term that impacts veterans, whether that be positive or negative? 1. Proposed workforce reductions at the Department of Veterans Affairs that we just talked about. Budgetary adjustments affecting veteran programs. The administration has proposed budget cuts totaling $2 billion targeting various VA contracts, and considering the reorganization that includes significant job cuts. Kind of covered this in the last article, but I'm not sure if it's mentioned here or it didn't pick it up because it's kind of like a far-reaching thing that affects more than just veterans, or this might be it. Don't quote me, but there are now cases where businesses like small business owners that are veterans are getting their government contracts cut and essentially putting them out of business. Insane. Nomination of Doug Collins as Secretary of the VA. So this is one of the only good things that it gives. And that's because he's a Navy veteran and Air Force Reserve chaplain. I don't know much about him, so I'm not going to make a lot of comments right now. But the fact that he pledged to improve care and support for veterans and then emphasizing regulatory reductions and elimination of corruption within the department, you already can kind of make a guess on his character. But that's all I'll say on that. Initiatives to address veteran homelessness. Sounds great, right? As a part of the broader Agenda 47, codename for Project 2025 Light. That's just a cover because I'm actually just doing Project 2025. Policy framework. President Trump has committed to eradicating veteran homelessness by the end of his term. Plan includes redirecting funds from other programs to provide shelter and treatment for homeless veterans, aiming to reintegrate them into society. So, where is it? Where's the legislation? Where's the executive orders addressing veteran homelessness? No, of course, nowhere. But where's the orders and legislation cutting benefits for veterans, screwing over small business owners who are veterans? Oh, that's, front and center. Number one priority. Insane. I can't believe anyone can still defend this. Like, I hope you're being paid well. I hope you're being paid well. I hope the GOP or whatever right-wing billionaire they're affiliated with is paying you well if you can come out here and defend this. Comment section's open. All right. Anyways, that's all I got for this one. I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.